few days ago, a creator on YouTube named Hbomberguy released a video called Plagiarism and YouTube, accusing multiple high-profile YouTubers of plagiarism with damning evidence. And since the release of that documentary or video essay or whatever you want to call it, there's been a lot of discussion and backlash and fallout for a lot of the subjects in that video. And it is a stunning piece of work. I highly recommend you go watch it. I'm going to link to it below. I know the runtime seems intimidating, but trust me, it is gripping. Throw it on in the background if you need to. You will be hooked. And if you've never heard about Hbomberguy, he's known for his video essays. Last year, he completely ethered this guy named Tommy Tallarico and exposed him to be a pathological liar. He's also most well known for this clip.
So let's say, for the sake of argument, that all of the water levels around the world rise by let's say 5 feet. You think that people aren't going to just sell their homes and move?
Just one small problem. Sell their houses to who, Ben? Fucking Aquaman!
But I want to talk about the aftermath of the video he just posted, some of the responses of the people he called out, because it's all over the internet and some of these accusations are sticking. And let's start with the internet historian, a pretty high profile one, even though it's not a huge chunk of the video. Harris explores his video Man in Cave, which was removed, he said, because of a false copyright claim. It was taken down and then re-uploaded later with a couple of the passages changed. And when exploring further, Harris noticed that, oh my gosh, a large amount of this video has been lifted from another article.
2018, Lucas Riley wrote a story about the 1925 cave rescue that captivated the nation. Uh-oh. This article is an extremely detailed summary of the story of Floyd Collins. Uh-oh. Oh, he didn't. He did not just...
Floyd tried to breathe calmly. His left arm was pinned underneath his torso, his right wedged by the rock ceiling above.
He should try untying his shoes, said one. No, we should send him down with a contortionist.
That does not look good. And to be fair, Hbomberguy did give him the benefit of the doubt on the animation and the work around that. In fact, he seems pretty genuinely disappointed that the video is plagiarized.
I saw people congratulate this video for the effort that went into it. I assume they're talking about the animation, which is pretty decent. Internet Historian's team did a good job with this, especially considering its length, a compliment I've received myself many times. That's one reason why this is all so disappointing. This could have been good and not been stolen. We can do both.
Now, the Internet Historian hasn't personally responded to what Harris said, although we uploaded a video like a couple days ago, and a large amount of the comments are attributing or crediting Tommy Tallarico for doing the sound in the video or the video itself. So I don't think he's completely out of the woods. But on Twitter, the reaction is a little bit more mixed. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, the internet, like, this is pretty damning. And then a large amount of his fans are just in full...
Who the fuck is this Hbomberguy guy?
Chalking up Harris's left-leaning politics to actually why he's attacking the Internet Historian.
You can also tell how vindictive HB is by how he went after the Internet Historian, bringing up a case where IH corrected his mistake and made amends, and also dragging him for his past videos. But yeah, Hassan stealing content is fun because he has your politics.
I don't know why the fuck the Omni-Man thing is there. He also skewers people with his politics pretty harshly.
So Internet Historian creates a video using Mental Floss's article without their permission. Their copyright claimed the video. Internet Historian and Mental Floss work it out, and 6 months later, Hbomberguy decided to interject himself into something that didn't involve them.
Except that's not what happened. Mental Floss and them didn't work it out. In fact, there are more examples of Internet Historians' plagiarism that are starting to surface. And again, this is somebody copying an article but changing a few words in it, which is plagiarism. That's plagiarism. In case you don't know, when you take an idea that isn't your own and pass it off as your own, even if you're changing 1 or 2 words, it's still plagiarism. There's nothing transformative you are adding to that. Hi, Sniper Wolf. Anyway, let's move on to Illuminaughtii. Illuminaughtii is a YouTuber who makes a lot of anti-MLM content, a lot of left-leaning content exploring various topics. Blair is accused here of a lot of plagiarism. She's pretty much accused of reading transcripts of other documentaries at her viewers and passing off the work as her own. Now, Blair has counteracted that by saying, oh, well, I have a paste bin here where I cite the sources of what I'm talking about. And I say I use these documentaries as sources, but she doesn't use the documentary and then come up with her own writing or narrative about it. She just takes the transcript of the documentary and just recites it. There's no material transformation that she's adding to this work to make it her own.
This is the same footage the documentary is showing as Calvin says it. She's just replaced the documentary's voiceover with herself quoting the documentary. It's ridiculous.
Blair also accused Legal Eagle, a pretty well-known YouTube channel, of stealing editing style from one of her editors. And that brought on an avalanche of backlash against her, which led to allegations against her harassing other people she used to work with, her sabotaging other people deliberately, her generally being a bully and like a bad person. As for Blair's response, at the time of writing, she has a post up from May from where she responded to other allegations, and by respond I mean double down like horrifically. But like a lot of the other pages, she's turned comments off on pretty much every single video, because I think people found that response and started saying things to that response as if it was recent. But it does not look good for her. And Hbomberguy dropped a second video with stuff cut out from the first video on Illuminaughtii. She's also accused of sending false cease and desist and copyright strikes against people. She seems great, but that's where she's at. Let me know what you think. And last but not least, we're going to talk about James Somerton. Easily the biggest one, because honestly, the back half of the whole documentary is dedicated as pretty much an ether to James Somerton. James Somerton is a media critic and YouTuber who talks a lot about LGBTQ stuff in film and media. He has a large following. A lot of people are passionate about his content because a lot of them feel seen in the films through his discussions and video essays. And guess what? They are almost all plagiarized. Harris's video goes so in depth on this. It's pretty crazy. Not to mention him strawmanning and going off script to just basically just attack women randomly during the videos. Him stealing the work of gay authors who have died trying to create content for queer people. There's just a lot of shit going on here. And you should also know that a big thing that Harris states is that in the past, when people have criticized Somerton, his fan base have gone after that person, mainly because they feel, hey, you're trying to silence a gay creator. But this video was really fucking in-depth and really well made and revealed shit that people didn't even know about yet. And so, how is it going? Not well. Originally, Somerton posted something on his Patreon and his Discord saying like, firstly, I would like to thank all of you for supporting me in the first place. However, it seems this channel has come under target from a significantly larger creator than myself and Nick. I know the majority of you were around last year when these accusations were first brought up. I've spoken to many of you privately and in live streams to explain the situation in detail. I am shocked to see that I was worth seemingly 2 hours of a 4-hour video. Okay, he's making it out to be like he's just getting sniped randomly for clicks. That's kind of the implication of the way he's positioning it and where he's posting it. I'm completely unaware of the situation. Does anyone know what the accusations are exactly? Hbomberguy released a 4-hour video, 2 hours of which seemed to be dissecting plagiarism accusations against our channel that we thoroughly clarified about a year ago. And in the beginning, a lot of his fans are kind of backing him to think, oh my God, he's being sniped again. But as they start to watch the video, things start to flip. Yeah, I just watched the latter half of the video at 2x speed, and it's quite damning. I think Hbomberguy does have a point about translating things to a different medium at the end there. This is severely disappointing. I've trusted you and recommended your work to other people. I have a lot of recommendations to retract. You say these are accusations you've addressed. If that were true, this wouldn't be the first that I and many other fans, your biggest fans who are paying to support your content, would be hearing about it. Also, in Harris's video, one of the patrons found their fucking article plagiarized in the video. That's pretty fucked. I feel pretty betrayed, honestly. I remember first watching your Monsters in the Closet video being so happy to find someone who talked about something that seemed so taboo and feeling so affected by your World War II documentary. And when you announced a Patreon drive somewhat recently, I thought I was in a better financial place. I thought, hey, I'm 100% up for supporting you. Now I can. And these kept getting worse and worse and worse. And by the end of the day, hi everyone, I wanted to say that I'm very sorry. I'm in a terrible headspace right now, so I don't want to post anything too long because I don't know where my brain will lead me. But I will say something more extensive once I prepare myself emotionally. But for now, I want to apologize. I'm heartbroken that I've lost your trust, and I just hope that someday, with a lot of work, I can get it back. And then he shut down the Patreon and the Discord, and he turned off comments on all of the YouTube videos. And multiple authors and artists and people are starting to notice a lot of the plagiarism in James's videos. Their content regurgitated that they didn't notice before. And here's some of the most damning stuff. James was making about $170,000 on Patreon alone. And Geeta Jackson, one of the people he stole from extensively, has never made that annually in her life. He took the works of other people, passed it off as his own, and got rich as fuck from it. And also attacked other people whenever he was called out for it. And listen, if you're wondering about Hbomberguy's like financial benefit from this, he's donating all of the proceeds that he has from this video to the authors who were ripped off. That's a really kind gesture. And listen, I think my takeaway from all of this is The lack of accountability is what killed these guys. Yes, the plagiarism is obviously fucking awful. They should have known better, but even when you get called out for poor behavior, you have two options. Own up to it and try to change to be better, or double down until the ride ends. And oh man, the ride is ending. And listen, they aren't the only ones getting hurt. A lot of people who followed them and found like a place where they belong, a lot of those people feel completely shattered and destroyed. I think a lot of the internet historians, like commenters, are kind of fucking crazy and coping a lot. But dude, I can't really blame them. Somebody who brought them joy and they care about is being attacked, and they feel like, oh my God, this is gonna evaporate. If you were a James Somerton fan, something that really brought you comfort in your life is gone. And by the way, it feels like it was all a lie. We've been talking about plagiarism in YouTube for a while now, and just the idea of stealing content. Again, I mentioned Sniper Wolf kind of cheekily earlier, but that was a big part of this year. Sniper Wolf got called out for essentially stealing other people's content and then went to some dude's house and doxed him and didn't take the accountability and kind of fucked with her name a little bit. Colleen Ballinger didn't take accountability. Now, these people didn't lose everything, but their legacy is kind of fucking shit now. And a lot of these people are in it for legacy, are in it for that self-image. I wish there was more accountability. I wish there was more repercussions and consequences for some of this egregious shit. And maybe there will be. But the thing I actually wish more was there was redemption. Like, people actually just took it in and tried to be better. Early in the video, Hbomberguy mentions Lukey Poo or Luke Stevens. Luke Stevens was the YouTuber who ripped off Hbomberguy's Bloodborne video. He catches a couple strays from Harris, and they're pretty petty and they're pretty damning. And given how like Illuminaughtii and the internet historian fans responded, of course the guy is gonna double down. No, shut the fuck up, he didn't. Faced with what had happened, Luke Stevens actually posted on Twitter and on his community page this, a giant apology to Hbomberguy for how he had acted in the past, admitting that he did steal the Bloodborne video and that he had been working tirelessly to become a better person, and saying, I don't think you're gonna forgive me, but I'm trying. Honestly, if you read this apology, it's one of the better written apologies from somebody who's done something bad. And it's being received really well, even by Hbomberguy's community inside of his Discord. Like, oh my God, the guy actually took accountability. And honestly, if Illuminaughtii, if fucking James Somerton, if the internet historian just took their L and were like, you know what, I'm gonna work and try to do better, people will follow along with you and try that. I'm making mistakes and trying to figure out things as well with Freestyle the News and everything that I do. But when somebody calls me out for something, unless it's like egregiously like in bad faith, I will take them and implement them into the work that I do. I'm not going to be the best at, I'm not going to be able to snap my fingers, but I'm going to try. I think we have to stop plagiarism on YouTube. We have to A, call it out like Hbomberguy has. B, stop thinking that all of us are immune and that our egos and our reputation are in danger all of the time. Art is collaboration. We're all collaborating. And giving people credit helps your art. We have to be willing to take accountability when we fuck up like this, or things get worse, people get hurt, and then ethered in a 4-hour fucking YouTube video. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think about the Hbomberguy stuff. I'll mention some stuff maybe in Freestyle the News if more things develop, but just a crazy fucking situation. Anyway, check out this week's Freestyle the News, last week's Zed Talk. Check out Hbomberguy's vid. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. And my name is Zed.